All right, let me just address the obvious right now. As you can probably tell just by looking at me, I'm a big NASCAR fan. All right? And I think it's the best sport in the world, and I'll tell you why. It's because every other sport, it forces you to root for either an individual or a team. Right? With NASCAR, you can root for anything from a candy to a home improvement store. Right? Right? If you really love Skittles, you can root for Skittles. Right? I personally like to get drunk and root for the Home Depot. All right? I'm like, go Home Depot, I love your shingles. That's a joke, guys. That's obviously a joke. I would never root for the Home Depot, and I will tell you why. It's because I don't think it's fair that you can't use Home Depot gift cards towards the purchase of Mexicans. Why are they on display? Why do you tease me, Home Depot? Guys, it's okay. I can tell that joke because I have a microphone. I'm not Mexican. A lot of people think I'm Mexican because my name is Carlos Valencia. I'm not. I'm not Mexican. Also, I'm not Amish either. That's another one I get. Every show I do, there's always at least one person I was like, oh my God, that is the first Amish Mexican I've seen in my entire life. He must work like crazy. Probably landscapes all day and makes bed frames at night. That's probably what he does. No, I'm not Amish Mexican. I'll tell you what I am, though, because people will ask. I'm a Colombian, all right? Are you Colombian? Right on, man. I was born in the States, but I lived in Colombia as a kid. But here's the thing. Even though I grew up in Colombia, I know every television show that you guys know. I just watched that show in Spanish, which is all cool. It's fine and good. But what was weird is that they would translate not just the dialogue, they would translate the titles of the shows, too. And I don't know how they came up with some of these titles, because there's never a direct translation, all right? Give you some examples, all right? Like Different Strokes. You guys remember that old 80s, yeah, Gary Coleman? This is what they called different, and I'm not making this up. This is what they called different strokes in Latin America. It was called blanco y negro. Yeah. If you're unfamiliar with the Spanish language, that literally translates to white and black. All right. Now, I'm still not sure if that's racist or not. But it is ironic. The show was kind of supposed to be about being colorblind. That's all the translator saw. Right? Oh, there's an old white to a bunch of black kids. Blanco y negro. Next. Tell you what's next. Growing Pains. All right. There's a sitcom in the 80s called Growing Pains. This is what they called it in Latin America. It was called Ay, cómo duele crecer, which literally translates to ouch, how it hurts to grow. Yeah. I'm not even making up the ouch part. It's in the name. It's got the upside down exclamation point. You can Wikipedia that stuff. One more example, Saved by the Bell. You guys remember that one, Saved by the Bell? Yeah. This is what they called Saved by the Bell in Latin America. It was called The Mario Lopez Show. I made one of those up. I'll let you guess which one. I've lived, I grew up in Colombia, but I've lived in the Southeast for a little bit over 15 years. And there's something I've noticed. If you spend more than 15 years in the Southeast, you're going to see a lot of rebel flags. Actually, did I say years? I meant minutes. If you spend more than 15 minutes in the Southeast, see a lot of rebel flags. And I really never really understood why people felt so passionate about it, because I'm not big into symbolism and flags. So I'll ask around, and I would always get a couple of reasons. And one of the reasons that I would get about the passion about the flag is, well, you know what? It's about heritage, not hate. Heritage, not hate. And I'm like, well, but it's a heritage littered with hate. So that kind of takes that excuse out. And then the other one that I would hear, it's Southern pride. It's just about Southern pride. I'm like, proud of what? The South lost that war. All right? If you're going to wave the rebel flag, you might as well wave a white flag right along with it. I mean, it's the last one that Army waved before the war was over. Okay? Now listen though, I don't think you should be ashamed to be from the South either, because all that Civil War era stuff that happened over 150 years ago. Anybody that was around then is dead. Nobody that's here had anything to do with the Civil War. The same reason I don't think if you're from the North you should feel superior. Some people from the North are that way. They're like, oh, our ancestors, they knew what was right. They were enlightened. Like, nah, let me tell you something, man. The only reason the North was against slavery is because you can't grow cotton where it's cold. Yeah, it's all money. It's all money. If rich people in the North could have made as much money as rich people in the South, we might still have slavery to this day, right? But I don't believe in taking pride or being ashamed about anything that your ancestors did, because you had nothing to do with that. I think instead of taking pride about ancestry, why don't you do something for yourself? Then you can be proud of that shit, all right? Yeah. Like I assume a lot of you guys are in college. If you graduate college, you can be proud of that. You put work into that. Or if some of you have kids and they graduate college, you had a hand raising those kids. Be proud. Or some of you you go to the bar drinking all night and you made it home without getting a DUI. Bam. Yeah, that's all you. That's you. You did that shit. Take pride in that. But not ancestry. All right. I think ancestry. It's a load of bull, man. Ancestry. If you don't believe that Ancestry's BS, then watch an Ancestry.com commercial one of these days. If you haven't seen them, this is the way it works, okay? They'll find an idiot, all right? They find an idiot, and then they put a camera on the idiot. And then the idiot is like, well, you know what, man? I always thought that I was German. But then I went to Ancestry.com. Turns out I am Scottish. So now I wear a skirt and watch Braveheart all day. Right? It's like, get a backbone. You're going to let a website determine your personality? It's like, oh, I always thought I was Japanese. Turns out I am Vietnamese. So now I own a nail salon. Right? Get a backbone. Do something for yours. People still insist that you should be proud of ancestry. I don't believe it. Like Italians love Columbus Day. Listen, just because you're Italian doesn't mean that you sailed the seas with Columbus in 1492. All right? Just like if you're Irish doesn't mean you invented alcohol abuse. All right? Just because you're Greek doesn't mean you invented butt fucking. All right? And listen, those last two are great things. Don't get me wrong. I butt fucking love butt fucking, but you know I have nothing to do with it. By the way, I know that by my definition of pride, I cannot get behind gay pride. And it's not that I'm against being gay, it's that's just you're born gay. You had nothing to do with being gay. You were born that way. That's like me being proud that I'm 5'6", which I'm not, but you know, you get the point. All right? Obviously, I don't think you should be ashamed of being gay, or let anybody let you feel ashamed of being gay. I don't understand homophobia, never have, because it seems to me that like a gay guy just gets judged by who he likes to fuck, and that is it. Right? Like a gay guy could be, he could volunteer, he could donate to the needy, he could be a philanthropist, but just because he likes sucking a little dick every once in a while, he's going to hell. That doesn't make sense to me. Because if you are going to judge people by who they fuck or who they've tried to fuck, then I'm the one that deserves to go to hell. All right? I've never fucked a dude, but I've probably come close. All right, I get hammered. I make questionable decisions. All right, I've slept with some questionable beasts. You know, only reason I haven't slept with more questionable people is just because I get so drunk that my dick stops working. You know, they call it whiskey dick. I call it shame dick. All right, it's like my dick being like, no, I am not doing this. You can stick a thumb. I got standards. Let me put it this way: you ever have sex with a woman that's so nasty, like she's had so much sex in her life, she can't even get wet anymore, you know? She just gets gelatinous, you know, like you pull your penis in, now it's covered in slime, you know? But not like Nickelodeon slime, but you know, like stuff they preserve Vienna sausages in, you know what I'm talking about, that sort of? That's never happened, guys, that's never happened. But I just put that disgusting image in your head and I can still get to heaven. All right, I'll leave you with this last little thing. You can probably tell this just by looking at me, too. I mean, this seriously. I'm not a hunter, all right? I'm not a hunter. It's kind of hard to find camouflage fedoras, I find. You know, it's not easy. But even though I'm not a hunter, I am not against hunting because I eat meat, all right? I'm a carnivore, so I can't be against hunting because I basically do the same thing that the hunters do. I just outsource the killing, All right, kind of like a mob boss in that way. I like to think of myself. I will say this though. I do think, even though I'm not against hunting, I do think hunters have entirely too much gear. All right. I think the fact that you have a brain that's evolved for millennia and with a cerebral cortex, and the fact that you have a weapon that can propel bullets at a lethal velocity, that should be advantage enough. All right. I think if anything, it's the animals that need the gear. All right. If I was a deer, right, and I was living in my deer cave, right, with my deer wife. Thank you. Anytime I leave my cave, I would be like, you know what, honey? Where's my? Get me my camouflage. I gotta get my vest. You know, there might be a redneck with a rifle out there. And, actually, you know what? I heard the county fair's in town, so there's a good chance that Ted Nugent is here. So you know what? Get me my vial of human piss too. Give me my vial of human piss. I'm gonna rub it on me, throw off his scent. By human piss, of course, I mean Coors Light. All right, that's my time. Thank you, everybody. Good night.